Hey everybody, it's Benny One, and I'm back at you with another initial thoughts and reaction review for a series, and we're going to be talking about She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. Everybody, that's right, the newest Marvel Disney Plus show. I honestly, I was not super excited about this show. I mean, as soon as I saw that Mark Ruffalo was going to be in it, and Jesus Christ, we're going to get Abomination. Daredevil's gonna appear in this, and then Wong from Doctor Strange is gonna appear in this. I was like, all right, you're bringing me in a little bit with some of these side characters. I'm liking it. I don't know how much they're gonna be in it, so, but yeah. So I was like, all right, She-Hulk. My wife really wanted to watch it, so we watched it. I think 2 days ago. I don't know. We watched it whenever it dropped. I can't remember, but yeah, we checked it out, and this is just going to be my initial thoughts and reaction, and then I will wait till the show's over and do a review for the whole series. I don't review every single episode. I usually just talk about the first episode, and then I review the whole thing as a whole and give it a score. That's how I review series. I used to review every single episode of shows over a year ago, but I quit doing that. So, because with movie reviews, unboxings, Funko Pop unboxings, all that shit, I just don't have time. I have a job. I have a family. So yes, I don't have time to do that type of stuff anymore. So, but we're going to talk about She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. I loved it. I thought it was funny. A lot funnier than I initially thought it was going to be. And the one thing I really liked about it is the breaking of the third wall type thing, where our main character, Jennifer, who is She-Hulk, talks to us as the audience. I love that shit when they do that. I love that part of the Daredevil, or not the Deadpool movies. I got Daredevil on the mind. So Tatiana Maslany, I think is how you say her name. She plays She-Hulk. Jennifer, I wasn't really sure about her at first, but great, especially when she interacted with Mark Ruffalo's Smart Hulk, Bruce Banner, everyone. And let's just get right to this. Spoilers. I'm sorry. I'm going to talk about spoilers. Everyone was wondering when the trailer dropped for this, why is Bruce Banner back? Like, why is the Hulk back to Bruce? He's human again. He looks normal again. And he still had his arm in the sling and everything. Well, in this episode, they tell us he came up with a device that keeps him Bruce. And so his arm can heal, because as the Hulk, with what happened when he did the snap in Endgame, and it really injured his arm, he needed to be Bruce again so he could get that shit to heal and wouldn't be so painful. So they explain that shit. They do explain it. Because everybody was wondering that in Shang-Chi and this trailer. They're like, what the hell? Wait. We thought he was Smart Hulk. Like, what's going on here? So everybody was, but they answer that. They take care of that right away. So right off the bat, we are just introduced to our main character, Jennifer, in her office before she's going to do attorney shit in a trial. And she's making this speech in front of Ginger Gonzaga. She plays Nikki. I'm guessing her friend that's going to be in this show. We don't really get introduced to a lot of the characters that are going to be in this show. Like Tim Roth as the Abomination, Charlie Cox as Daredevil, Matt Murdock, and Benedict Wong as Wong. They're not in this episode. They're going to be in other episodes. And Nikki, and there's another guy in the office listening to her too that doesn't think that she can do this and he should make the speech. But she's just basically like, yeah, screw you, I'm doing this. So we really don't get a lot of the characters that are going to be in this show in this first episode. We get Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner and the Hulk with Jennifer and She-Hulk. That's what this episode is really about. Because her friend Nikki, after she's done making her little practice speech to them when the douchebag leaves, she's like, you're going to Hulk it. You're going to do this. You can do it. You can She-Hulk up and everything. And then she turns to the camera and she's like, okay, wait a second. Let's go back and I'll explain this. Because she's already She-Hulk. You're like, whoa, wait a second. And we go back and we find out what happens is that Jennifer and Bruce are hanging out together. They're cousins. They get into a car accident. And that's where Bruce explains the device on his arm. And they wreck. and Bruce goes to check on her and stuff, and he's bleeding because he's Bruce, and she's hurt too, and his blood drips into her wound, and she immediately turns into She-Hulk and gets kind of angry and everything, but she looks like Smart Hulk, basically, where he's smaller and she's more in control and everything, but she is passing out, not remembering what's happening, just like Bruce did when he was first becoming the Hulk. So he takes her to this little island home place that him and Tony built during the 5 years when everybody was snapped. So we find out what the Hulk was doing after Thanos snapped and made everybody disappear and he became Smart Hulk. We find out that Tony helped him build this whole lab underneath the house, and he's basically, it's kind of like Hawaii in a way. I don't know if that's where it is in Hawaii, but he's got a house, he's got a bar, and Tony helped him build it all. So after the snap happened and everything, and everybody was gone for 5 years, Tony and Bruce were kind of hanging out and everything and doing all this. And that's where Bruce figured out how to be at peace with being Bruce and the Hulk, and that's why we get the Smart Hulk in Endgame. So we find out what was going on with him. I love that shit. I love things that were left unanswered years ago. We get answered. I love that shit about Marvel. They really think this shit out, and I love that about them. So he brings Jennifer here to train her and show her how to be a Hulk. He's like, you need to learn how to be a Hulk. You can't go out in public. You can't go back to your job until you learn how to control this shit. And he brings out a handbook, and he's like, it basically took me a good 10 years to figure this shit out. And like, he's got a handbook and everything. So he's starting to put her through these tests, and he's like, we need to figure out what triggers you to turn into the Hulk. And it's usually anxiety, fear, anger. And he gets her to turn, and she busts out and freaking ruins some of his shit, and he's all pissed, but she's talking, and he was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Is that you, Jen? Are you in there? And she's like, yeah. So right away, you're like, okay, so she's more like Smart Hulk already. She can talk, and it's Jennifer and the Hulk mixed together. And when she wakes up, Bruce is Smart Hulk again, and his arm's completely healed, and it's because he used her blood to heal his arms. So now Smart Hulk is back. No more human Bruce, and his arm's all healed and everything. So, I mean, they kind of quickly took care of that, I guess. Little iffy on how they decided to do that, but whatever, it's cool seeing the two Hulks together. So right away he pulls out a huge section of his little binder of how to do this. He's like, well, we don't need this shit. And he's just putting her through these tests, and she keeps doing everything. She throws a huge boulder farther than him, and he's just kind of like, you could tell he's getting a little irritated and jealous because she's picking up on everything way faster than he ever did, and she can clearly control being She-Hulk, and she's where he is now, and it took him forever to get to that point. And it takes him a little bit during this episode to realize that he doesn't have to hold her hand and show her how to do all this. They get into a fight, which is really cool to see. His bar gets destroyed and everything. Like, he ups her when they're fighting and shows her, well, I've been doing this forever. I'm the one that knows what's doing. But then she turns around and does what he did to her back, like with the clapping thing and everything, and like just gives it to him. And that's because, if you remember, Superman, when Supergirl shows up, she can do everything right away. She can fly, she gets all of her powers right away, and she gets a grip and a handle on them. And that's just because, and even in our real life, women are generally, they are smarter than men. They grow, they become smarter quicker. They age sooner than guys do. Us guys act like children until we're about 30. So at least some of us, not all of us, but yes, women generally learn and grow and age sooner than men do, and they're bringing that in with superhero characters, and it's not the first time it's been done. So after that, Bruce finally realizes, because she wants to go back, she's like, I just want to go back to work. I don't want to be a goddamn superhero. I don't want to do what you did, because look at you. You're all alone. You don't have anybody. You have no friends. and you were a superhero, and look at what it did to your life. She's like, I don't want to be a superhero. I want to go back to my attorney job and live my life. And it takes Bruce a minute to realize that, but after they have their big fight, he finally lets her go and everything, and she goes, and then we get back to where we were in the beginning of the episode, and she goes to this trial, and I don't even know who this villain is, busts into this trial, and she has to She-Hulk out and beat her ass down, and then she basically says, okay, I'm ready to give my closing argument speech or whatever, and that's where the show ends. And I was just like, I looked at my wife and I was like, I love this. I thought this was great. It had action. Mark Ruffalo being in it as the Hulk was great to interact with his cousin becoming She-Hulk. I don't know if Mark Ruffalo is going to be in any more of this. The way that she kind of left and said goodbye to him, I don't really think he is. I just think we got him in this first episode. It's funny. There's going to be action in it. I mean, we get to look forward to Abomination, Daredevil in his classic yellow and red costume. Oh my God. Wong's going to appear in this. And then we're going to get introduced to our actual cast that's going to be in the show too. So I don't think that the Hulk is going to be in this anymore, but he might. Who knows? I don't really know. But yeah, it was good. The special effects looked awesome with She-Hulk and Hulk. Like, they did a fantastic job with it. We know that they put money into these Marvel shows and they usually look good. So I thought this first episode was entertaining. I thought it was great. So I'm most definitely giving it 2 thumbs up. I'm actually excited to watch the rest of it, whether it's 6, 8 episodes, I'm not really sure. And like I said, once it's done, I will review the whole series and I will give you guys a score. So, but for now, most definitely recommend She-Hulk, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed that review and my reaction, and I appreciate it, and I thank you for watching. And be catching you on the tube later because I have spoken.